Hey folks, welcome back to the Impossible Lair, and we're jumping straight in with a pagey today.
What's the challenge going to be this time?
Probably something horrible.
Oh, genocide, okay.
You know, as you do.
Clearing out the unwanted minority so we can revitalize the ghetto. I get it.
Anyway, I'm joined today by Ryu and Serve, two very distinguished witnesses.
Indeed.
Hello.
I solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and only the convenient truth. So help me the establishment.
The defense stands ready, Your Honor. I will not let our dear comrades go to jail.
Meanwhile, I have got extra witnesses to this event. As Yooka and Laylee are clearly causing problems in an established, privately owned garden.
Oh yes, obviously. I mean, this whole area is owned by Capital B, so you know. Technically, this entire LP is one long extended breaking and entering charge.
We're simply documenting the full list of their charges during said B&E. I mean, this is unlawful use of a water bomb, unauthorized planting, unsupervised hydration. I mean, the list goes on.
However, have you considered that all landlords are bastards, and therefore all of this is actually justified?
I don't know, I'm not seeing a license for that bat.
It's true. I'm pretty sure bats do qualify as an exotic pet.
I mean, show me where in the book do you have a loss against having a bat as a pet, or as a friendly companion.
Look, are you trying to pull the Air Bud defense on us?
I can neither confirm nor deny that statement.
Anyway, this challenge is cute. It's a little Space Invaders homage, but it also sucks ass because if you fuck it up, it takes goddamn forever.
Yeah, I could already see you had to speed up the footage.
It definitely... Oh, especially with that one up at the top. Because, oh yeah, what is that, every like 30 seconds real time?
This is... I think this is double speed, so... Yeah, roughly every 15 to 20 seconds.
Okay.
It was a hard-fought victory against the forces of capitalism, but our comrades emerged victorious.
Those were peaceful diplomats from space. What are you talking about?
Were they? Were they really?
Yes. They were sending down deadly needles of peace and prosperity.
And need I remind you what the needle is the symbol of? It's the stinger of Capital B and his capitalistic oppression.
It is also the needle that gives you your clothing, that builds us flags. It is progress, it is civilization. Wanton destruction of private property.
Private property is theft.
So, are you then alleging that everyone should be locked up simply for owning property?
Yes.
That's going to jam up our prisons quite terribly, and create an even worse disenfranchised lower class.
I mean, the man's not wrong.
I mean, on the other hand, we can just imprison all the landlords and financiers and simply let the people that have been imprisoned for petty crimes and false charges go free. for they are innocent under this oppressive system of capitalistic theft.
Well, no, under this system they are guilty, but under your new system you are alleging that they would be innocent.
Yes. Basically what I'm saying is Chairman Meow was right.
But Chairman Meow instituted policies that led to the death of hundreds of thousands of the Chinese.
No, that was Chairman Mao. That's a completely different person.
Ah. And what different policies does Chairman Meow have to Chairman Mao?
Well, for one, he only instituted a genocide of all the capitalist fish.
I think that was more about fish than capitalism. I don't know, that is sounding like racial discrimination for personal reasons. So...
They know what they did. So I noticed we haven't really gone into an actual level yet. Seems the overworld is a bit more involved than what you'd normally expect here.
Yeah, the overworld is basically a giant level in and of itself. There's a bunch of little secrets to find, all kinds of tonics that are just hidden here and there.
So it's basically, the overworld is a level from the first Yooka-Laylee with a lot of good levels stuck around in and around it.
I'd say it's close. I'd say it's closer to a giant extended Zelda dungeon.
That's fair. It certainly has the Awakening aesthetic.
It really does.
Like, make it a little more plasticky, and this would not look out of place in the Awakening remake.
It also gives me some lesser vibes of the Mario and Rabbids game.
I could see that, yeah.
Because that also had some overworld puzzles and like rather involved ways to actually get into the levels.
I also agree that this game definitely needs a selfie-taking rabbit.
You're not wrong.
Most games do. Oh yeah, no, this definitely feels like World 1 of DK Returns.
Oh yeah.
Are you getting faster as you spin through multiple enemies?
You absolutely are. That's even a tooltip in the loading screen.
Oh, I can imagine the speedrun tech that can be exploited using this.
I'm guessing there's a reason you're holding on to this particular fruit thing?
That berry is basically a barrel. I can just throw it at a thing to kill it.
I wasn't sure if you needed to carry it through the whole level, like the metal barrels sometimes in DKC 3.
Nah, there's only, you don't see that very often. And it's usually signposted when you need it further on.
At least we don't have to collect a DK medal here.
Yeah.
There probably is an equivalent DK medal pickup, isn't there?
No, not really.
So you don't have lives, but you lose quills every time you die?
Not so much that you lose quills, but you go back to your last state when you hit a checkpoint. So, like, every time I die, I will go back to 54 quills until I hit the next checkpoint.
So the checkpoints are the big red quills, right?
The checkpoints are the little cameras. You'll see them. That bell is your DK barrel.
And it calls back the bat if you've lost it. Yeah, very, very DK returns. Is it screaming?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, it is a ghost quill.
Fair enough.
I did not know comrades Yooka and Laylee were also part-time exorcists.
Fornicating with the dark spirits. How dare they?
Fornicating with the dark spirits? Or do you perhaps mean liberating a tortured soul from their eternal agony?
It sounded more like it was causing the agony to me.
But how could it be causing the agony when it was redistributing its wealth?
It literally sounded like it was vomiting up its own innards as it died. So, what is wealth may be lifeblood.
That just goes to show you that wealth is poison.
Ah. But anything can be wealth.
Correct. Everything is poison if you really think about it.
Yes. So why not just get things over with?
Ah, embrace death.
Yes. Oh!
Well, here's a question for you. If everything is poison, you say largely antivenoms are made from the thing that poisons you. So are you suggesting that a little bit of everything is okay, but a lot of everything is bad?
Exactly.
Medically, that is the case, actually. It's just a question of how much of everything is the poison. Also, am I correct in assuming that you can quickly regain the bat after you lose it? Or was that part of hitting a bell?
No, you have... By default, you have about maybe 3 to 5 seconds to catch Laylee before she disappears.
Ah, so Yoshi's Island mechanics.
But she can go... She will fly erratically around where you got hit. This will include going through walls, among other things.
Oh.
Okay, yeah. Now that would make for an interesting version of, Yoshi's Island.
I see you have obtained a key.
I'm like 99% sure there's a secret exit down there, but I don't know how to get to it.
It definitely looks like there should be something there, because there was a gap to the right. But yeah, no, it does not look, I did not see an obvious way through.
And I know this level has a secret exit because you can tell because they're the ones on the overworld that have like that little portal nearby them.
Hmm.
I assume the numbered coins here are your Kong letter equivalents?
They absolutely are.
Do they even unlock anything?
They do. They serve as your primary gatekeeper for progress in the game. Every so often, you'll run into an actual literal paywall erected by our friend Trouser, the snake. And he will demand X amount of coins to allow you to progress.
So basically he's demanding enough bitcoins or else he'll release all the nudes.
See, you're joking, but there's an achievement for, I think, getting 50 Twit coins altogether that is literally called Twit coin farming.
Oh my god.
That is delightful.
I don't know whether this makes it better or worse.
Yes.
I believe the portmanteau worse exists for this reasons.
Yeah, I can dig that. Also, shame on you. You missed a bitcoin at the beginning.
There's 200 of them in the game. You do not need all of them.
I'm also guessing that you can come back later.
Yeah, you only need about 90 of them to access all the levels, so...
Huh, less than half. That's surprisingly generous, actually.
I wonder, is there like a post-game that requires more of them, or any other like optional unlockable?
Yeah, there's at least one other optional unlockable after you get access to all the levels.
Okay. That makes sense why they've got a lot more then.
Oh, do all the battalion members have unique names and sprites?
Yes. They also have awful pun descriptions. Like every single one of them.
Oh my god. Sometimes it's the little touches.
Yeah, now that we have collected a few bees, these tents start forming back at the beginning of the game, and they make platforms for us to get up to some of these other areas.
That's nice.
Also, the more tents that are down there, the more filled in that main theme becomes.
Oh, I love that.
So what you're saying is our comrades are creating a refugee camp to house our comrades in arms, huh?
I think they're technically forming a forward assault camp, as they are all active military.
Oh right, this is like the Royal Stingdom in exile, so I guess they're more partisan fighters then?
Yes. Legally speaking, they would be resistance fighters or horrible insurgents, depending on who's propagandizing.
I mean, you know what they say. One man's freedom fighter is another one's terrorist.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of terrorists, somebody at the team at Platonic was allowed to design water levels, so...
Truly the worst war crime of all.
Yes, we are going to have a separate trial for them, are we not?
I would hope so.
Yeah, the swimming is literally identical to Tropical Freeze, other than that you don't have an oxygen meter, which is very nice.
Yeah, that's pretty generous then.
Right, but otherwise it works exactly the same. Like, right down to pressing the attack button to give yourself a little boost. Also, this music is so David Wise, it literally hurts me.
Yeah.
Also, why does Capital B have so many saw blades in this water treatment facility? Like, this is not OSHA compliant.
Well, you see, this is actually a factory, but our local terrorists here went and flooded it, so now all of this machinery is ruined.
Ah, so if this is a factory, this is probably where Capital B's forces were manufacturing all their weapons. So our comrades here are doing the correct thing by disabling the enemy's military strength.
Well, for all you know, that this is a factory that's creating, canned food or other vital apparatus for running an effective country.
What kind of factory has underwater saws generating chameleon kibble?
Well, they're not underwater saws, they were above ground saws until we flooded the place.
Ah, details.
And what sort of self-respecting factory owner doesn't have a mountain full of saw blades designed to kill intruders?
I suppose that's true, you can just ask King K. Rool.
Even if they weren't intended to kill intruders, though it definitely looks like these are a security system more than specifically industrial. There are actually a number of legit industrial uses for blades, though they tend to be less giant, stabby, pointy. But mostly machine works.
Right, it would also make more sense if, like, this were a sawmill.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really look like it.
No.
If it wasn't obvious, those, starfish-looking things, they actively pull you in towards them.
Okay.
So if you see me doing some really funky swimming, that's probably why. You know, unless it's obvious that it's me just fucking up really badly. there's a lot of that too.
Fair. I have no idea how that secondary blade/gear is staying attached to that first one.
Very carefully.
Yeah. It must be perfectly balanced to even run underwater.
I must begrudgingly admit that Capital B does have a competent engineering team. Even the music sounds vaguely reminiscent of DK water levels.
Sir, I'm not joking. This game was composed literally by David Wise and Grant Kirkhope.
That much I actually knew going in, but I'm like...
It sounds like DK because it is literally DK music.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to... I think this reminds me... It doesn't remind me entirely of DK water level music. It's like a little bit of the water music mixed with the treetop music. Those stages from original Donkey Kong Country.
Actually, yeah, I can sort of hear it. You're right.
Actually, hang on. I have the soundtrack. Let me go check this real quick.
But yeah, it is kind of mind-blowing just how similar, like, the sound design is.
I assume that was on purpose, though.
Yeah. Rip.
And this is what they get for invading a flooded factory without proper OSHA oversight. I mean, they're not wearing safety gear. They're not washing their hands. They're not staying within, the guidelines.
I mean, it is an emergency situation, considering this is kind of a stealth operation. They can't really afford to take all the necessary precautions, because time is of the essence.
It doesn't... The soundtrack doesn't have the actual composer listed, but like you said, of the 4 people who worked on this, I am, 100% sure this is a David Wise joint.
Yeah. I would not be at all surprised.
Also, I did not know Yooka was literally Jesus.
Just all lizards are Jesus lizards. That's how it works, right?
Depends on who you ask.
Yeah, chameleons sort of have that power. Something like that. Don't worry about it.
Alright, I won't. Does this?
That is that's a return door. In the main level, the one that's not flooded, you would go off to the right there, and there would be a secret area that would spit you back out there.
Oh, okay. I was about to ask if there was a secret exit on this level or not.
There might be. Or no, not in this one. No.
Yeah, because I didn't get to clearly see the little book on the overworld.
Those little hunter-seeker mines are weird.
What is with capital B's obsession with eyeballs anyway?
I mean, all good dystopian authoritarian states need to be watching you constantly.
True, I suppose that's one way to establish a panopticon. Just build eyeball-shaped cameras into literally all of your troops. Even the ones that already have natural eyes.
More eyes is better. It's, you know... I believe it was in the words of the great Urkin invader, Zim, more organs, more health. So by the same logic, more eyes, more surveillance, a healthier country.
Makes perfect sense. I love the little random sob, like, literally at the end for no reason.
That, like, I would estimate like 80% of the levels of this game have some little challenge after the goalpost, so...
That's a nice, little fun thing to have. You know, small optional challenge for those who want to go a little beyond.
But we have a couple more levels to clean up here before we're finished with this chapter of the game. So we will be tackling the last two altered levels next time.
See ya.
Laters!